So, check this out, people. Back in the 1960s, the Americans supposedly were the first to land on the moon. We're now in the year 2024. We have technology more advanced than most countries. We're able to pick up a penny from a satellite in space. We're able to find people anywhere in the world just with the click of a button. In the 1960s, man supposedly went to the moon using a technology that today, when you look at it, it seems ridiculous to believe that we actually went to the moon. Because with the technology that we have today, we can't do it again. Elon Musk created a rocket that can take off from a ship, go up into space, and then come right back down and land where it took off from. And today, we still can't do what we did some 50, 60 years ago, and that's send a man back on the moon. And we supposedly went to the moon. You have people today that believe that Americans actually landed on the moon. Now, just because you believe something doesn't mean it happened. Just because you believe something, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. You have Morant Rant who believes that GME is going to the moon. You have Morant Rant claiming that he's just giving people hope that GME will squeeze. The fact is that the market doesn't care about hope. It doesn't care what you believe. If you have hope in something, go to church. The market is not a place for hope. The market is not a place where you can put your faith in. The market is driven by market makers, it's driven by investors. And if investors don't believe in GME, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how much hope you have. It doesn't matter how much faith you have. Just because you believe something doesn't mean it happened, and it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Just like I don't believe that man went to the moon in the 60s with the technology that they had back then and can't duplicate it today. NASA has been around for some, I don't know, 75, 100 years. I don't know, I'm just guessing. And Elon Musk has only been around for some 50, 60 years. And in his short time, he's created something that NASA couldn't create in the time that they've been around. And yet they want me to believe that we actually landed on the moon. And so what I'm trying to say is this: just because someone believes something, just because someone hopes in something, just because someone is claiming that they're giving you hope so that you can put your money into a stock that they believe is going to the moon, doesn't mean it's going to the moon. It doesn't mean it's going to the moon. GME already had its chance the same way America had its chance to supposedly land on the moon. America didn't land on the moon. GME didn't land on the moon. Yes, it got close to the clouds when it went up to some $400 a share back in 2020. But now we're in the year 2024, and you got these scumbags telling you that that same stock that never reached the moon the first time is going to reach the moon the second time, claiming that they're just giving you hope. If you want hope, go to church. Don't put your faith in these scumbags on YouTube claiming that every time this stock tanks, it's the best time to buy. It's never the best time to buy into a stock. that continues to tank from $400 a share to $13 a share and has never showed any profits as far as the stock is concerned. And as far as GME or GameStop is concerned, all they do is fire and cut back the fat, according to Morant's rants. What he's really trying to say is that they're closing down stores, firing their employees, and cutting back on benefits because they're trying to survive. And of course, because he connects the dots, he wants you to believe that because he's been right about everything else, that he's actually right about this stock that has continued to tank. It doesn't matter what he says, the numbers are there, but he wants us to believe him instead of what we actually see with our own eyes. He wants us to believe him. And of course, he pretends that he's happy. He pretends that this is exactly where he wants GME to be because he doesn't want to show his shame. But he's a carifreco, right? For those who understand, a carifreco is a fresh face. Means he has no shame. And so he pretends that he's happy so that you who are watching cannot see his disgrace. And the fact is that he's made fun of all of these people, like the PP show, which he was right about. But just because he was right doesn't mean that others who knew about BBBY weren't right also. He wants you to believe that the one that's right is him, that he's the only one who's right, that he's the only one who grinds, that he's the only one who owns a home, that he's the only one that goes to work really hard, that his neighbors who live across the street from him don't do the same things he do, and that we, everyday people, don't grind just like he does. But yet, with all the grinding he does, he has time to be on YouTube 7 hours, 8 hours a day, making 10 videos a day, but yet he has a career. Bro, I don't have a career, and I don't even have that much time to be on YouTube. But the people who watch, who are being deceived and lied to, follow people like him, because most of the people who encourage this from him are not even real. They're scammers who are scamming the masses, and they are scamming him, and he doesn't even connect the dots to that, not understanding that the majority of people who are encouraging him with no face, no content, and no subscribers are scammers who are scamming him so that in turn they can scam you outside of YouTube. When they call you, when they text you, when they get at you through WhatsApp claiming that Bitcoin and AMC and GME are the best stocks to buy into, that if you give them your money, that you can become rich. They use influencers like him to get at people like you, the novice investors, so that they can take your information and then take your money. Because unfortunately, not everyone has access to the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of people who watch YouTube are from other countries, third world countries, and countries who have no access to the stock market. And those are the people who are taken advantage by these scumbags who encourage people like Morant's Rants, Tony DeNaro, and everyone else who pumps AMC and GME so that outside of YouTube, they can take people's money who cannot access the stock market. And because everybody wants to be rich, nobody wants to be poor, and they want that money now, they fall into the traps. I talk to people every day here in the Philippines that believe the hype, whose money is taken by these fake brokerage accounts and fake brokerage apps that are put together by scammers who watch and encourage people like Morant's Rants. And because he's being encouraged by Almo and Lindo Real and these other scumbags whose face he's never seen, he doesn't realize that they're scamming him behind his back. But he doesn't know any better. But eventually, when GME goes to zero, he's not going to dance the dance that he pretended he was happy when he danced after he saw GME drop to $12 a share. Because Morant's Rants wants you to believe that this is exactly what he's been waiting for GME to tank. This is why he puts on a helmet. And then when the stock tanks, he pretends, oh, wow, don't worry, people. This is exactly where we want it to be. And if you don't buy now, then you're stupid. The fact is that he's been saying that from the time GME was at 200, 150, 100, 75, 50, 30, 25, 20, and 15. Each time was a good time to buy. But look at him now. And all he's done is lost money and caused his followers to lose money rather than being honest, rather than warning them about the way the market works and to always take your profits and never allow yourself to be controlled or deceived by influencers. Instead, he's the deceiver by convincing people that if you don't buy or if you don't hold or if you sell, then you're an idiot and you have no idea what you're doing. Because his word is the one and only one that counts. Not the market makers, not the news, not everyday investors who've been trading for years, but he knows better. In the end, people, you got to get your money. Get your money.